Way to go, Duffer Brothers. Y'all did amazing. 11. That's all I can say about this. 11. She killed it. She was my favorite character. Oh my gosh. Another character that I did not think I would like first time seeing him, but he ended up being my second favorite character was Chief Hopper. I really liked him. He he looked like he was gonna be like a terrible person when you first saw him, but then later on in the show, he was one of the only he's the main reason why as much stuff got done as it did. He helped the kids, he helped the mom, he helped a lot of people, and he risked a lot. I really liked him. I also really like the main three boys in the show. Every single person did an amazing job on acting, from the main character to the teacher. The teacher wasn't even in it much, but what he did was very important, and I really liked the teacher. So, to be honest, the only reason I started watching the show is because everyone that I know said it was like a Stephen King show. And I love Stephen King. Those movies right there, all those, Stephen King. Why? Because he's I think he's great. But anyways, so I watch it because people say it's like Stephen King, and everyone's like, "Oh, it's such a great show" and all that. So I give it a shot, and I'm really glad that I did. But it wasn't just like Stephen King. Like, don't get me wrong. There are parts that like it was just like Stand By Me. There are parts just like Carrie. There was one scene. It was almost from the movie It, but it was still an amazing show. But another thing that I liked about it is they even like made Stephen King references. Like there was a guy reading a Stephen King book. That was really cool. They they said a couple other things about Stephen King, like they made a Carrie reference, and someone even mentioned that a part was like Stephen King, which I really liked. So before I begin with the rest of the review, I want you to know that I'm really not a big show fan. Like, I liked Arrow, but eventually I quit it. I liked Flash, eventually I quit it. I liked Once Upon a Time. Eventually I quit it. Just like Walking Dead. I liked it. Watched about 3 seasons. Eventually quit it. But this show, if there was a second season, I'd definitely watch it. It gets you hooked in from the pilot to the very last episode. Every single episode was amazing. There wasn't like an episode that was like, man, this is kind of getting a little tiring, or like you look at your watch and you're like, when is the next episode going to start? Every single one was freaking awesome. So basically, in the show, there are four main boys, but one of them, they go missing in the very beginning, and everyone's wondering where he went, because it's a town where nothing happens. Like, the biggest thing that'll happen is someone might run a red light. It's a town that, like I said, nothing big happens, and it went from nothing big happens to a boy missing. So everyone tries to help find him. But at first they think, oh, maybe the dad took him, or maybe he just ran away. So when the kid does go missing, and his name's Will Byers, and when he does go missing, at the same time, or soon after, this girl comes, and her name is 11. Her name's 11, but the kids kind of give her a nickname for Eleanor, and then L for short. So it's her actual name's 11, her nickname is Eleanor, and then her nickname for her nickname is L. Anyways, this chick, oh my gosh, she killed it. So when 11 does pop up, the three boys kind of take her under her wing, especially the main one. And the main one is Mike Wheeler. He is an amazing friend and amazing kid. And like I said, all these kids are amazing actors. I wouldn't be surprised if later on I saw them in other shows or other movies. So basically, where the missing kid is right now, Will Byers, he is stuck in this place called the Upside Down. And the reason they call it the Upside Down is because in the very beginning they were playing a game, and it's Dungeons and Dragons. And on the very top of the board game, it has the little like spots for Dungeons and Dragons. So on the top is Dungeons and Dragons, like you know. Well, on the flip side, the Upside Down, it's pitch black. It's still the same thing, like my hand. This side, you see the nails. This side, the nails are still there, but it's upside down. There's you can't see any nails or anything. That's kind of like how they pictured the upside down with the real world. Here's the real world, and here's the upside down. Same thing, just on the flip side. Anyways, so there's a couple entrances to the upside down, and they all try to go inside the upside down to save Will Byers. But not only Will Byers, there's another girl that you don't really know much about, and you don't really care much about, but she's in the upside down, and she is a kid, or a teenager, so they try to save her, but they find out that she's dead. So that doesn't last long. But not only is Will Byers stuck in the upside down, there's this creature, and how they picture the monster in the beginning, or the creature, is the Demogorgon. That's even what Levin says. It's like the Demogorgon from Dungeons and Dragons. So they already know that it's gonna look creepy. Well, Chief Hopper helps Will Byers' mom to kind of cope with what she's going through. And in the very beginning, he thinks she's crazy. He still wants to help her because his child, he had a girl, and she died. And if he had even a 1% chance that she was alive, he'd try everything he could. He kind of knows what she's going through because in his mind, she was just seeing her son when he wasn't there. That's kind of like what he did for his daughter. He saw his daughter, but she wasn't really there. That's what he thought in the very beginning. And then he finds out that the monster is actually real. After he finds out that she's telling the truth, they also find out that the three kids know about it. So the three kids and Will Byers' mom and Chief, they all go to the school with 11. With 11, and they try to make this little bathtub thing with a pool, water, and salt. And the reason for that is because if 11 goes in there blindfolded and with all those ingredients, and they get the ingredients from the teacher. But anyways, after that, she can find Will. And that's the way they actually find Will. And while all this is going on, the government's trying to get 11. And the reason they're trying to get 11 is because they're the people that made 11. The reason they made 11 is kind of to help with the war. If you can have someone be able to kill a dozen people with their mind, have a couple dozen of them, and you win war. Anyway, so she was a project to them, so they wanted to hurry up and get her. So while they're doing this at the school, the government comes and they try to hide. Well, guess what comes? The monster. The monster comes to the school, and it is so cool because, like I said earlier in the video, there's a scene that was almost from It, and it kind of reminded me from It because the kids were in the classroom and they were pegging the rocks at the monster, right? And then they did the last rock, and when they hit it, the monster flew back. And when the monster flew back, it wasn't because of the rock, but it looked like it was because of the rock. The reason it flew back is because 11. 11, oh my gosh. She single-handedly killed a monster that dozens of adults with guns was trying to kill. And she killed him on the spot. Now, she died while doing it, but it was awesome. And the reason I do that is because in the very end, Chief Hopper gets in the car with the government people. And then after that, a couple months later, I think it is, they're at this party and he gets some food and he says it's only for him. But the real reason he gets the food is because he goes to this spot and he puts Eggo waffles and something else, I think, in a spot and closes it. And that tells you that number 11 is alive because throughout the entire show, she loved Eggo waffles. I think it's because it's the first like actual human food she ate in forever, but she loved it. And him doing that shows that she is alive. And that is a mind blow because I loved her. And then another thing that was crazy is at the very end, Will Byers, the kid that went missing in the very beginning, after he's home and they got him and stuff, he goes to the bathroom. And the reason he goes to the bathroom is because he's not really feeling all that well. And he starts coughing. He coughs up some of the monster, or like this slug thing. And then it goes down the drain. And then for a split second, the upside down. And then it goes back to normal again. And it doing that kills me because it's like, is there going to be a second season? Is there not? Anyways, the beginning was amazing. The middle was amazing. The ending was amazing. The acting was phenomenal. The story was really, really neat. And I'm not a huge fan of the kind of science project gone wrong shows or movies, but this was awesome. And honestly, this was so awesome, I give it an A. That's pretty awesome. Anyways, I'm going to have a couple of reviews coming up hopefully soon. I'm going to try to have at least 2 reviews a week, but I'm going to try to make it to where it's closer to 3 or 4, maybe even 5 reviews, because I'm sick of doing 1 review a week. It's not doing it for me. So I'm going to try that out for you. Anyways, have you seen Stranger Things on Netflix? Did you like it? Did you not like it? Comment below and let me know. And like always, like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. And comment down what show I should do next. I'm trying to do at least 1 show a month, so should I do another Netflix show? Should I do an older show? Should I do a newer show? Comment below and let me know.